Back to my channel. So today I'm going to show you how I make my custom wrench sets for easier travel and access to the wrenches I actually use. So stay tuned. First off, this is not sponsored by Husky. These are just the ones I was able to pick up at my local hardware store. And so the nice thing about the free wrenches like this, they are cheaper, but for travel, the sets are just way more convenient because you can't lose the individual wrenches. It's all together and stays together. So that's why I really like these fold-out sets for keeping in my gear bag and traveling with especially. But the only downside is, like with my new rifle, I need a torque for my butt plate, but everything else is in metric. So I'm going to show you how I combine these two to have only the wrenches I need, so that one, it saves on weight, and two, I don't have to fumble through extra wrenches that I don't need. But I'm going to start just mainly using this one for travel, so I don't have to replace it as often, and using the free wrenches for practice and at-home stuff, so that if I do end up having to replace one of these wrenches from wearing out, then it's a lot cheaper to replace the individual over one of these fold-outs. Alright, so first off, you need to pick up the wrench sets that you need pieces from. So like I said, in this case, I need a torque in mostly metric. When I was shooting sporter as well, there was a couple pieces of my equipment that used English SAE, so I had to also put in one or two of those wrenches into this as well. The nice thing is, most places will sell a 3 kit where you get metric, torque, and English sets, and that's really convenient because then you have everything to combine together. And you also want to make sure they're the same size hole-wise for the connectors, because otherwise you're going to have either too much play or the rings are going to be too small when you try to combine them together. So I always try to stick with the same brand and the same size sets, because you're more than likely going to have the same size fittings and loops at the bottom. So it's pretty simple to pull these apart. Before you pull them apart, I recommend figuring out which ones you need, because on here they're actually like labeled of which size they are, but obviously when you start mixing them up, these labels aren't going to mean anything. So either test them out in what you have on your equipment, or just know what sizes you need, either way. And I will usually either mark them, or as I take them apart, just separate the ones that I need. Although this is an easy process, so you could always do this multiple times as needed. So it's pretty simple to pull these apart. There are 2 screws, one at each end, and then there is a nut set in on the other side. So all you have to do is take a separate Allen. Usually another one that comes with the kits will work, but obviously you haven't pulled them apart yet. So all you do is unscrew it all the way. My pile of wrenches that I do need, and then the pile of wrenches I do not need. I don't think I've ever gone back into a pile of ones I've taken out, because I just literally use them for nothing. There's nothing I have that fits any of these, at least in terms of shooting. I might grab it for some other project that's some craft project or something, but usually never come back to those. And then obviously I have 2 empty holders, so for me, I am going to use the blue one because my favorite color is blue. So that's the one I'm going to use, and put the ones I need into this. So another thing to notice on these, they do have slight wedges in them. I don't know if you can really see on camera. It's designed for the smaller ones to stick up a little bit higher, so they're easier to get to. So just realize when you're putting this back together, you might have to put your smaller ones up on this ridge, because if you put your large ones, they're going to stick up and catch things while it's in your bag or your hand if you're trying to use it. So all you have to do is start one of your screws in a little bit, just so it'll catch your, and then also make sure you're going the right direction. So like this is wrong because it's not going to lay flat this way, and if you put it in this way, the loop's not going the right direction, so it's just going to make it harder over time. So just make sure whichever way you put it in, you put it in the correct way for the loop, on however the original ones came. So actually on this one, because the two sides come apart, I could just take the side and the screw through, and then just start threading these all on. I go from like smallest to largest to kind of see what, as much as I can fit on one side, because then it'll be semi snug in there and not flop around. And then the hard part, getting them back together. Oh, and also it would help if I started the screw on the right side. So all right, set the nut in there, and then tighten it. You don't want to tighten it too tight, because then you won't be able to actually like pull the wrenches out. If you over tighten it, you'll know, because it's literally, you can't get these out. Okay, and then still have a couple. So in this case, these are, I'm going to use all the washers that came out of both of these. Just go on and put these in here kind of as a temporary. I know this isn't going to be enough. I'll have to go get some more washers. I think I have some in my garage, but basically you just like fill both these areas with washers so that these are snug. And basically when you tighten it down like this side, these wouldn't be flopping around like they are right now. But you know, unfortunately I don't need, or fortunately I don't need that many wrenches. So you know, it takes a little bit of tweaking to figure out the tension to where they stay nice and tight and snug, but not so tight. So that's the wrenches that I use on the regular, and makes it so much easier to travel and so much less weight than carrying both sets, because just look at how many extra, and most of these are like the really big ones that you'll like never use. So thank you for watching. If you make your own custom set of wrenches, let me know how you like it and what type you ended up using. If you like seeing these types of videos, please let me know by commenting down below, or liking this video, or hit me up on my social medias. And please subscribe if you like following my journey and learning some tips and tricks like this, and hope you have a great rest of your day.